Hi everyone, thank you for watching our video. We've got lots of other amazing online courses available on the Morales Method website. Please follow the link in the description to see our other online courses.
Hello folks, wanted to talk to you guys about plantar fasciitis, and I've seen a lot of great videos and techniques with regards to plantar fasciitis, but wanted to show you another approach, another way to be able to get to that area and help your clients get out of pain without having to actually work that plantar fascia. And there are a lot of techniques that show how to work the plantar fascia, how to go through stretches in the plantar fascia, but when someone is going through a bit of a flare-up, that's not a place that you actually want to go to. So I wanted to show you another way to be able to get to plantar fasciitis without actually getting to the plantar fascia. As we know, plantar fasciitis is an itis, inflammation of that plantar fascia for many reasons. And we have someone here on the table who actually occasionally gets plantar fasciitis, and I would say that one of the big reasons that she may get it is if she sits for long periods of time. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So when she's sitting for long periods of time and then right away goes off into some sort of physical activity, sometimes there is that plantar fascia flare-up for her. So one approach that we do to help her to alleviate the plantar fasciitis symptoms is to work this whole posterior line. And when we think about plantar fasciitis, we think about what's working, what's not working, think about what's overworking, what's working too much in order to compensate for something that's not working enough. So in her case, there might be a lot of working down in that plantar fascia, a lot of overstretching and inflammation, strain in that plantar fascia, and not enough movement here in upper glutes, possibly some weakness here in the upper glutes that can be tested and then eventually toned and conditioned with other approaches. So from a SI or structural integration standpoint, I think about these questions that I just mentioned, what's working, what's not working, and how can I bring about some movement and some function in that area. So I'm going to start here with the upper glutes. And one of the first things I do before I just start working is to palpate and to feel, hey, where is there directional resistance? Where is there directional ease? And this is classic. I know Elena's body, so I know that I feel directional resistance in this direction, especially up here in this upper glute territory. So this is where I'm going to start my work. So right away, what I did, one of the first things you want to do is to sink into that tissue. Don't just stay all superficial. Sink into that tissue so that you feel that directional resistance. And right away, I feel the DR in this direction, what I call DR, directional resistance, in this direction, and I'm going to work it. So I'm going to work it by resting my forearm right in this upper glute territory, and I know anatomically I'm dealing with glute medius, glute maximus, but functionally I'm thinking about just the whole gluteal territory and what is not moving under my forearm. And so as I sink in, I feel, yes, that I need to work in that direction. So I'm going to work in this direction to work this myofascial tissue. I want to check in with my client. Is the pressure too much? Sometimes it can be very sensitive to the client. Sometimes they may actually feel it refer all the way down to their foot when you're working a particular area in the glute territory. So how's that pressure? Is that okay? Perfect? Great. We don't want to go on a more than a 6 or 7 for sure on a 1 to 10 scale. So where are we on your scale?
5, 4.
Perfect. 5 or 4, I'm in a good place. And sometimes I'll ask my client if they feel it refer down their leg, down to that plantar fascial area. Do you feel it refer down to that area?
No.
No, not right now? Okay. Sometimes it happens when you hit just the spot, and it's not, sometimes people think, oh, is that the sciatic nerve. It's not necessarily a sciatic nerve or a nerve issue. It may be more of a fascial referral, a myofascial referral. So here I am. I move just slightly, and when I move slightly, I also want to continue palpating, and I'm palpating with my forearm. Want to continue palpating that directional resistance, and again, I continue to feel it directionally resistant in that direction.
That's more of a 5 or 6 now.
That's more of a 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out in the space of 5 or 6, and I'm going to hang out in this area. Notice I'm not doing a big long stroke. I can do this over active clothing. It's not a stroke. I don't need oil. I'm waiting for that tissue to change. Some people call it release, lengthening, fluidity, softening, stretching. You know, we have all these words for it, although we're still finding out exactly what we're doing here. But I'm waiting for that tissue to, or melt. I'm waiting for that tissue just to soften up a bit. Does it refer down to your leg at all?
No.
No? Great. So as I've been talking, I've been waiting. Now, how long do you want to wait? I'm going to wait a good 30-40 seconds in this area before I move on. One thing you may notice is that Elena's feet are off the edge of the table, and this is something I do with plantar fasciitis folks. I want to keep a little bit of stretch in that back leg, so I have them hang their feet off the table. If it's too much for them, and if it's too much of a, if they're too much in a flare-up condition, then I'll put a bolster. I'll put them on the table, put a bolster so that there's some support there in the ankle and in the plantar fasciitis area, and their foot goes a little bit more into plantar flexion. I moved a little bit as I was talking. You caught me, so being a little sneaky. I moved down a little bit into lower glute territory. And again, as I move, I still want to continue to feel for directional resistance.